Hello, my name is Hatli Thorstensson. The instructor of this web lesson is Harry Jonasson from Swiss Education. I'm going to introduce to you in this web lesson 1 in simple home accounting, which is possible to practice without having expertise in accountancy. I'd like to note there are forms that you can use for the monthly diary and the 6-month budgeting. It's possible to get it on the website www.sus.education. About the importance of home accounting in layman's terms is undeniable. That is, maintenance in financial matters to each person, also you can see where your money goes. We use double booking system in the monthly diary. Double booking in short term is what you pay out of the account and into another account. To do simple home accounting, then we should imagine a person, John Johnson, that lives in Reykjavik, Iceland. He rents an apartment and uses the bus. In web lesson 1, monthly diary and 6-month budgeting, we will go over. Firstly, go over simple monthly diary and fill it. Secondly, to show how 6-month budgeting can connect to the monthly diary. John opens Excel program with simple home accounting and starts inserting info. I've done some things already, but I will show how it's done. John starts with writing his own name and address. He starts with update his account of July 2018 and writes in cell A8. Next, he starts to write his income, and you can see it on the left side. In cell B11, he puts the status of his bank account in the start of each month, which is $833. He puts in income, but he works as a worker on minimal wage and moves in cell B12, $2,500. He puts in cash or money which he has in his pockets in the start of the month in cell B20, $42. Total cash difference in cell B22 is used to check if the money you have in your wallet is the same and the cash in the end of the month in cell B23. It's a good habit to count the money at least once a week to be sure, for example, to get the right change back when you shop. Remember to always take receipts. Despite John is on minimal wage, then he has another bank account, account number 2, which he uses as a backup savings and puts the status of it in B27, $3,333. He puts also in the status on the credit card in B29, or $267. John Johnson has won a bank loan and fills that out. He doesn't have it in the monthly diary, but on the left. Installments of the loan is $83, which he puts in the space B57, and interest and cost he puts also in. $8 in B58. You can see the total is then $91, which he has to pay. You can see I can scroll up and down, but still I can see all the accounts in the monthly diary. I've set this up in the page, but if it bugs out, then you can go into the bar, into home, then into view, and select a line here, which is line 11, which you click and select. In view, click on freeze panes, and then we go back into home. Now we go into the monthly diary. First, John chooses what bills he likes to measure. In Form 1 about simple home accounting in layman's terms. There are first 5 bills, and John uses the same bills or food bills, clothes, bills, pharmacy and medicines. Then he puts hygiene, hobbies, travel, tobacco and wine, rent, miscellaneous and ATM. These are accounts that he chooses to use. Then you can see all these same accounts John has added to the left, under household, and into right row. You can see here in the cell A35 to A45, whereas I've connected the amount with the monthly diary. There you can see how much you have spent in each category for its own. You can see that the ATM isn't there, but money from it goes into cash. See cell B21. In date, then the formula is that you can put here, for example, 1st of July as 1.7. But some computers use the USA system, then you have to put in 7/1. We will now make the accounting. 1st of July, John starts to pay his credit card, or $267 out of debit into the credit account. You can see there is debt that he put in B29. He pays the bills that he gets for every end of the month. Here you can see, for example, internet, insurance, phone bills, and subscriptions. They go out of debit and into the account. If people have more bills, then they would do the same. Rent goes out of the debit, $625, and into rent account. John continues to do it like this. He takes receipts out of stores and inputs data into his home accounting. He pays either with his debit card, credit card, or uses cash to pay for goods or services. 3rd of July, John takes out of the ATM $83, which goes out of the debit and into ATM in T17, like you can see, which is the last bill in the monthly diary. Then you can instantly see that these $83 have been updated in cash in cell B21. 17th of July, John buys a lottery ticket, which pays with money $11. And there isn't exactly a specific account for that, so it goes into miscellaneous. It's good to have an account for non-specific costs. Another account is sometimes used under goods or services that rarely is bought or used. That account is unexpected costs. See from A and B49 to 53 are lines to use. First is savings, that is what I put in John's bank account number 2, $417, which he decided to put in. You can see in the bank account number 2 or backup savings in cell B28. Then in the end of the month, the status of the bank account 2 has gone out of $3,333 in $350. In unexpected costs, people can put in, for example, holidays, buying of currency, and other things that are over $150. Dentist would, for example, be inserted there. Also, various machines like, for example, TV and computer. In short, everything that is rarely used. Small amounts goes into miscellaneous if you can't find an account for it. July 20, John pays accommodation outside the country, but traveled to the Akureyri city in Iceland and stayed one night. He pays $125. That goes out of debit into an account that has the name travel. Also, July 18th, he travels with a bus, and that goes out of cash and into travel $4. But into this account travel, he puts all his trips, for example, bus rides, taxi, and accommodation. Below the monthly diary, John has 3 sections. There are reconciliation, bills, and difference. These sections are used to check if we have done the home account correct or if there are errors. In the reconciliation are total numbers from debit, credit, and cash, but in account sections are all the bills, and the difference should be always 0. Otherwise, something is faulty. We are now in the 6-month budgeting. John wants to see his plan forward in time and thus makes a 6-month budget and connects it with the monthly diary. In Form 1 about simple home accounting in layman's terms, I've done the connection to it, and John has also done it. As he puts in the data into the monthly diary, then the numbers are moved to the 6-month budgeting. We shall go over the number. You can see John's income is there in July, $2,500. Only about cash difference. It is calculated by that you take cash in the start of the month, minus cash in the end of the month, plus counting of the cash. That is the status of John at the start of the month, but if we go back into the monthly diary, then he had cash, 1st of July, $42. And in the end of the month he had also $42. But counting of the cash was 0, so the difference in the 6-month budgeting is 0. Status on the bank account too, and the status of the credit card are already there. You can see here $3,750 in the bank account, and status of credit card $254. Like they are all accounts in a household. On the back of the household you can see all averages of 6 months. When John has filled all the 6 months, then he can see the average on what he has spent and into each field of his own, and can have that as a rule of thumb for January 2019. Good description on this in web lesson 7, Home Accounting in Layman's Terms. Also there's a good description how cash flow works. Credit card difference $13 is the same number as in cell G35 in the monthly diary in July. Unexpected cost and my bank loans is there too. Then we are in total income $2,500 and total costs $2,020, and profit loss without cash is the difference on income and total costs. See cell B63 or $480. Cash in the end of the month is there too. Profit or loss with cash is then $522 in cell B65. Cash flow is in B67 is 0 in the start, and in B68 is the same number, and the profit or loss with cash $522. But in August then we move this number here up in C67 and would add the cash flow, profit, loss with cash in August. We can't see in this because John hasn't filled out that month. Good explanation, as I said before, is in web lesson 7, Home Accounting in Layman's Term. In the end, with 6-month budgeting, then there's monthly difference in cell B74. Total number from all the months and cash flow divided with 6, or the average per month as profit. This becomes more clear when we are done filling all the 6 months. You can also see it better in web lesson 7. I've now gone over simple home accounting in layman's terms and filled out monthly diary and 6-month budgeting. When you start doing your own home accounting, then you can get the Form 1 with simple home accounting, and then when you're more proficient in accounting, you can use the Form 2 with home accounting. Thanks, and I wish you good times.